So, hi everyone. Just thought I'd have a bit of a chat around sprint goals. So, yeah, sprint goals are obviously super important. If you're doing scrum, they're mandatory. So it's not something you can kind of go, oh, let's skip the sprint goal this sprint. Actually, if you're doing scrum and you're doing things by the scrum framework, then yeah, a sprint goal should be there every single sprint. Yeah, it's a commitment from the team, so they're committing to that sprint goal. And yeah, I guess it's created within sort of sprint planning, um, you know, with the whole team. So, with that direction from the product owner, but also absolutely, it's a team effort. So, is it achievable? Does it feel like the right thing to do? So, the product owner might be saying, yeah, absolutely, this is the most valuable stuff we need to get done, and this is the goal I want to wrap around that. But absolutely, the team are involved in that as well. So, is that achievable? Do we actually think we can get that done within a couple of weeks? Does it make sense? Technically, logically, and the final kind of say will sit with the PO. But I guess it's the team's job to convince them otherwise. If there's a reason why that sprint goal should change or be adapted in any way. So it's a big collaborative team effort that everyone kind of commits to and agrees to. And I think, it's definitely worth checking in a few times in sprint planning, especially at the end. All right, so this is our sprint goal, guys. Is everyone on board with this? Does it feel really achievable? Anyone got any concerns? And that's something I like to do, at a sprint planning point. So yeah, they are really important. So they provide that kind of North Star, I guess, and that focus for the team for that 2 week period in our case, or depending on your sprint length. So yeah, really important stuff. And there's a few things that I kind of see happening, I guess, with sprint goals that I want to talk about a little bit. So, one thing I get quite a lot with teams is, development teams. My story doesn't relate to the sprint goal. The things I'm working on, they don't relate to the sprint goal, that kind of thing. And actually, that's really good. So as long as you've not got everyone in the whole team saying, nothing relates to the sprint goal, well, there's definitely something going on there then. The idea should be there is a cohesive North Star goal in mind for the squad. But everything doesn't have to relate to the sprint goal. So, you don't have to link stories back to it or list, even worse, list just stories out or just say the sprint goal is to complete every story. That's not the idea. So it's good to have stories that don't relate to the sprint goal. And that's because, if, things happen where it's like, right, okay, we've not got a lot of time or, more important things are cropping up, then that's when the product owner can say, right, okay, and that's when the development team can say, right, okay, does this relate to the sprint goal? No, right, drop it then. So it's really important to not have things related to the sprint goal so we know what to drop and what, to swarm on, basically. So, for example, one of our past sprint goals, I think, was to reduce, we wanted to bring some bugs into sprint and we wanted to reduce our bugs by 25% that were in the backlog. And that was, came from the product owner, really clear that some of our, I guess, measures and customer satisfaction measures were dropping in terms of some of the bugs. So we knew we needed to focus on that, and that was the product owner's kind of top priority. So it's all about bugs, that sprint, yeah. And we did have some user stories in there that were related to new features. And yeah, that hadn't been implemented yet. So brand new kind of user stories. And as we kind of got halfway through the sprint, we're checking in with the sprint goal, and actually there's tons of bugs left. And the sprint goal is all about getting these bugs done, right? So that just makes it so easy as a team to go, right, okay, does, are you working on a bug? Does that bug relate to the sprint goal? Yes, crack on. Who's not working towards a sprint goal? Right, I've got these 2 tickets that are nothing to do with bugs, right? Let's park them. The most important thing to the product owner and the business right now is sorting these bugs out. Come and help people with bugs, yeah? Come and swarm these bugs and let's forget about those new user stories. So for me, don't have everything related to the sprint goal. It's fine to have things that aren't, and it's actually a good thing because, when you get to that point where it's like, what do we need to do? How do we achieve the goal? Things are getting tight. It's really clear what you should drop and what you should carry on working with. So it gives good focus for the team. I would also say check in with your sprint goal, a lot. So obviously the daily scrum, amazing place to do this. it's the development team's, you know, session event. So yeah, if they're kind of running it, they're facilitating it, ask them, remind them, ask people, okay, what's the sprint goal, guys? Can anyone remind me what the sprint goal is? If the scrum master's facilitating it that day, ask that question, right? Okay, what's the sprint goal? And that could be the product owner that kind of reiterates that, or anyone from the dev team, really. And that just keeps people on track. It keeps that, that focus and that North Star really kind of pertinent in people's minds, I guess. Which can only be a good thing for adding focus. So yeah, definitely, mention it a lot, talk about it a lot, get people kind of on board with that. The binary, a sprint goal. So, one conversation we tend to have on the last day of our sprint before review is, are we going to meet the sprint goal? And you get answers like, yeah, we're almost there. We just got to get it into QA, or, just need to wrap a bit of automation around a couple of these ACs, or, you just someone in another department just needs to quickly run their eyes around it. Well, actually, for me, it's a yes or no answer. So, we've either met the sprint goal or we haven't. So it either meets our definition of done, that, the team's all committed to, or it doesn't. So it's yes or no. There's no kind of, we've almost met it, or we've 90% there with the sprint goal. Yeah, it's a binary answer for me. So have we met it, yes or no? And it's fine if we're not meeting them. I mean, if we're not meeting them continuously, there's something going on. But you're gonna miss the odd one as a team. It's complex software at the end of the day. We're trying to predict in a better way by breaking things really, really far down and doing things in two-week sprints and all that kind of thing, which is fantastic. But we're still not, we've not got these crystal balls, have we? So there's going to be times when things crop up, live incidents happen, all this sort of stuff, and you don't meet that sprint goal. And the main thing is you're open and honest about it. You're not bodging it. It is, nope, we failed the sprint goal. Sorry, not failed. I don't like that word, but we didn't achieve the sprint goal, and actually we're gonna learn from that, and take that learning away. And then I guess just finally on transparency. So not sure what people kind of use for the kind of boards and all that sort of stuff, but we're using DevOps, Microsoft DevOps. So not the most intuitive in places. So what we tend to do is we create a user story or a product backlog item on the board, and we just 0 point it, and it just says sprint goal with the sprint goal stated on there, and it's just really clear then. So every day you're in your scrum, you're using the board, the dev should be looking at that board often, and it's just there in front of you. The sprint goal is X, or we want to reduce bugs in the backlog by 25% this sprint, whatever that goal may be for your team. So things have changed. We're remote now. Back in the day, we'd have the old flip chart with the sprint goal just stated up there in a nice Sharpie or something like that. We're not in those days anymore, are we? So remote ways of doing it. Still get it on your board, get it transparent. Stakeholders are at the scrum as well; they can see that. So make it nice and transparent, I guess. So I guess I just wanted to have a chat around some points. So really, really important to have sprint goals. It gives the team a lot of focus. It's that North Star for everybody. Great to kind of focus around sprint goals at your daily scrums, gets you away from that, the old 3 questions. What did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? Any blockers? How about how are people doing towards a sprint goal? Any concerns about the sprint goal today, guys? So make sure you do them, create them in sprint planning, make sure they're achievable, check in with the full team, commitment from the full team, and be honest about them. You've either met them or you've not. Please leave any comments regarding sprint goals in the comments section. Any questions, obviously, give me a shout on LinkedIn.